Welcome back to A to Z here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. You search Locked On Sports Atlanta. This segment brought to you by our good friends at Coffee AM. Before we get to this list that has me bothered, which is Shovel of Wisdom worthy, I'm going to hand out a different Shovel of Wisdom right now.
Brace yourselves, because it's time for the Shovel of Wisdom.
Yeah, it's time to hand out a Shovel of Wisdom for somebody who said or did something very, very stupid. And today, my shovel goes to Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and subsequently many people who responded to what I put on Twitter. Okay, so if you haven't kept up with what's going on there in the world these days, it was one of those things where Senator Warren tweeted out about consumers having to buy new chargers all the time for their different devices on their phones. She says we can clear things up with uniform standards for less expense, less hassle, and less waste. And this was a USA Today article that's titled "Lawmakers Push for Universal Chargers for Smartphones and Mobile Devices." And this came from Senator Elizabeth Warren yesterday. And I quote tweeted it and said, How are we actually wasting time with this in Congress right now? Like, you got to be kidding me. And many of the people responded to me, Congress can do more than one thing at a time. Yeah, this isn't about Congress doing more than one thing at a time. I'm well aware that Congress do more than one thing at a time. What I'm not happy with is the things that they're choosing to do more of one thing at a time between inflation, cost of goods, supply chain, what else? I mean, go through the list of things, gun control, everything that is troubling this country right now. How did my cell phone charger get anywhere near the top of the list that it's doing more than one thing at a time? How about you solve the gun crisis in this country first, and then get gas prices back down, and then make it so people can actually afford to buy a home, and then worry about basic American security, the border, things of that nature, everything that is plaguing what is going on in the world. That isn't my cell phone charger. Like, worry about all those things. Do all those things first together at the same time, and then worry about my cell phone charger. Like, how is this actually something that somehow got to the top of the list of things that need to be going on right now? Utterly, utterly mind blowing. And so, yes, I give a shovel to Senator Warren for making this like a public thing, because is it really a thing? I mean, I don't like having to get new chargers anyway, but what do? We all lose the damn things in a week anyway. How many blocks do you have around the house that don't have the charging cord with it? How many cords do you have around the house that you can't find a block for? How many different phones or devices do you get that all take different? Oh, ooh, freaky who. They all come with one now anyway. Give me a break. Cell phone chargers, waste and saving. Yeah, because that's where I want to save money, on my cell phone charger. Don't let me, not pay $100 to fill up my tank of gas, and I don't have to worry about the $12 charger at CVS that I have to pay for. Not even $12 at CVS, for crying out loud. Give me a break, folks. Be smart. For once in your life, be smart. All right, before we get to the Falcons here, a word from our friends at Coffee AM. Folks, I have personally tried this company and their coffee. It is outstanding. Coffee never tasted so good. Coffee AM is an Atlanta-based small batch coffee roaster, and they make some of the finest coffees around. And I mean coffees from like all over the world. A huge selection. They're organic, they're fair trade, direct trade, expertly crafted blends, espressos, flavored coffees, gourmet teas, and a whole lot more. And they're roasted right here in your backyard. It's the freshest coffees you can get. Coffee AM's coffees are roasted and shipped the same day or close to it. And they only roast current crop specialty grade coffee. I mean, guys, it is so good. It's so tasty. I had a cup from Kenya this morning, for crying out loud. I'm like, ooh. I went all Samuel L. Jackson in the in Pulp Fiction when he's like drinking Jimmy's coffee. He's like, damn, Jimmy. I mean, that's what Coffee AM does for you guys. So go to coffeeam.com slash / locked on. That's coffeeam.com / locked on today. Take a full look at their menu of coffees, teas, and gift sets. That's coffeeam.com / locked on, or use the coupon code locked on to get 15% off your first order at checkout. Coffees, teas, gift sets, Coffee AM, the best small batch coffee roaster in America. All right, so CBS Sports HQ put out every roster ranked, and this is according to Cody Benjamin. And you know what? Cody could get a shovel of wisdom for this list because it's not a good list. And it's not a good list, not because I disagree with it, just because at number 32, he has the Falcons as the worst roster in the league. And I know the Falcons are going to be bad, and I know they're not expected to be good, and I know their roster isn't very good. But I'll say this much. I will say that based off the quarterback position alone, the Falcons cannot have the worst roster in the league. They just can't. Not when Daniel Jones is at quarterback, not when Zach Wilson is quarterbacking right now, not when the Carolina Panthers don't know who their quarterback is. I don't pretend to laud Marcus Mariota's prowess as a quarterback by any stretch of the imagination, but what I do know is that he is more serviceable, more competent than several other starting quarterbacks in this league at this point. I mean, say what you want. Again, Marcus Mariota is better than Justin Fields at this point. He's better than Davis Mills at this point. Heck, I would argue he might be better than Trevor Lawrence at this point. What I saw from Lawrence last year, is not all that impressive. Now, again, I understand that this list might not be the whole just based off the quarterback, and it's not. But comparatively speaking, do the Houston Texans have Kyle Pitts? They drafted Drake London. Do they have an Arnold Epicadi? I know these guys are unproven to a certain extent from a talent standpoint. They have to carry over what they were in college to what they are now. And I don't know. I'm not even a homer. You guys know that because I just objectively think that the Falcons don't have as bad a roster as people want them to have. And oh, by the way, they're going to go over there for 4.5, or is it 5.5 win total? One or the other. I think they win 6 games, which still, when you look at it objectively, is a massive job given they lost Matt Ryan, who they won 7 games with last year. They win 6 games this year, and I've said this before on the show. They win 6 games this year, then that is a huge win for this entire organization. It's a huge win for Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot for putting this all together and being able to win 6 games with this roster. So yeah, I'm not having them as the worst roster in the league right now. So Cody Benjamin, do what you want. I'd love to hear some more justification as to why, and most of it probably is based off the defense and the lack of a running back. But still, there's some pieces there. All right, that'll do it for us here on this Friday. I'll be back in the saddle for a full week on Monday. Certainly appreciate you guys spending some time with me today. Make sure you follow all the shows here. Follow me on Twitter at Mark Zinno, again at Locked On ATL. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Don't take any crap from anybody. See ya.